The fourth sync pair of the month that DNA tried to keep secret but desperately failed. And as people call her, the real anniversary unit. But is Sygna suit Serena as good as how she is hyped? Well, in this video, we're going to discuss about Sygna suit Serena and if she is worth your gems. Should you scout or should you skip? So, enjoy the ride as you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't, and needless to say, this contains spoilers about her. But if you're here, enjoy yourselves as we do this. Here we go! Yo yo yo! This is Solo, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. Yeah, this team's called Grunt. And this is Pokemon Masters EX. Guys, in this video, we're going to discuss about Sygna suit Serena and Zygarde. And this is basically the fourth sync pair of the month. This sync pair is actually not yet in our current game update. This was actually leaked by Eternal Stay, access to somehow, somewhere, and you know, people thought that she would be announced in the Pokemon Presents that just happened earlier / yesterday. By the way, happy Pokemon Day, everyone. And happy Pokemon Masters EX 2.5 year anniversary later. I'm uploading this before the anniversary, before Anniversary Me comes out, so that you have a chance to rethink yourselves if you are planning to scout for Anniversary May and you need someone to guide you in the proper direction. So, yeah, I mean, like, probably if the anniversary or the Pokemon Presents actually announce her, you know, she's actually a Master Fair, and people, or rather Pokemon Presents actually announce Anniversary May, well, not really announce Anniversary May, but reminded people of Anniversary May, announce Anniversary Skyline, announce Anniversary Raihan, and you know, as a Master Fair versus versus 3 Poke Fairs, if DNA announce her or if the Pokemon Company announce her, you know, people will naturally tend to shift towards a Master Fair because Master Fairs are typically stronger, especially with the Master passive skill, compared to the Poke Fairs. But, you know, this video is here to give you some detailed info. I do not want to just say, okay, she's a Master Fair, so definitely go scout her rather than Poke Fairs. I will be here to give you numbers, give you how she is good versus this and stuff like that. So, that said, that's my intro, guys. So, Anniversary May comes out later, February 28th, if you are watching this as a premiere. And then Anniversary Skyla is coming out 2 days after Anniversary May. And then Anniversary Raihan is coming out 2 days after Anniversary Skyla. Now, I discussed each one of them. I have my individual analysis for Anniversary May already. If you are interested to know more about her and her abilities, do check it out. Link will be in the description. And I also discussed this too in my March Sync Pairs Who to Scout for video, as well as my 2.5 year anniversary Who to Scout for video. Check them out if you want. Today I'm gonna focus on this, and I'm also gonna ignore these Sync Pairs who are returning. Check out my 2.5 year anniversary video Who to Scout for if you want more detailed info about these sync pairs. So, Sygna suit Serena. Sygna suit Serena is a Master Fair, and she comes out on March 17, ends on April 13. So you have less than a month to scout for her, which is, I guess, short, because if I'm not mistaken, the past few Master Fairs have at least lasted for at least a month or maybe a little bit more than a month, especially Renegade Cynthia. She lasted for like 2 months or something. So this is a pretty short span of time for a Master Fair to run. But then if you watch my March, or rather, how many gems can we get in the month of March 2022, you will know that we actually get more gems than scout points. So you have at least, you got the opportunity, you get the opportunity to scout for one sync pair of your choice. Whether it be the anniversary units, one of them, or her, or probably the seasonals, or probably, N, the rerunning banners, champion Iris and stuff. Or you might be lucky and get blessed with a couple of the first multi-portal or something, you get her and stuff, which congratulations if you do that. But if you see this image, well, good job. You got Sygna Suit Serena. And Sygna Suit Serena is sadly a dragon type sync pair. Why sadly? We have so many dragon types these past few things. In fact, Cyrus, the Cyrus that we got for free, that recently received 6-star EX as well as a power boost, is a dragon type. The first ever Dynamax sync pair that I think some people got into the hype of the first Dynamax sync pair, that's Sygna Suit Raihan, is also a dragon type sync pair. And then Lucas, the sync pair with Dragon Zone, very good sync pair, is also dragon type sync pair. There are so many good dragon types that do you even need another dragon type sync pair? So that's the dragon type Sygna Suit Serena. But the good thing is that she also has a ground type attack, which is 1000 Waves. 1000 Waves is a 4-move gauge attack that hits everyone and applies the restrain effect to the enemy. So 1000 Waves hits everyone. Core Enforcer also hits everyone. So 4-move gauge attack hits everyone. Now, we only got one strong dragon type attack that can hit everyone right now, and I mean strong. That is Sygna Suit Cynthia's Clanging Scales. Now there are some other AoE dragon attacks, Twister, we also have Breaking Swipe and stuff, but the stronger damaging dragon type AoE attack is Sygna Suit Cynthia's Clanging Scales, and her stats are not exactly high. That's the problem about her. Meanwhile, we have a very strong Hyper Beam. We have a very strong Roar of Time, but it only hits one opponent. And so, Sygna Suit Serena's Core Enforcer not only is strong, but also hits everyone. So that's the good thing about her. And then 1000 Waves is a physical ground type attack. So Core Enforcer is a special attack, special move. 1000 Waves is a physical move. So if you're dealing with troublesome opponents, especially in Legendary Arena, that have an affinity towards defending against physical attacks, or stronger against special attacks, you have a choice here. And you can just use whatever move depending on what the opponent is weak to, like a Zelf. And then what else? 1000 Waves also applies the restrain effect towards an opponent, or rather all opponents. Now what does the restrain effect do? In the main games, restrain prevents you from switching out, or prevents the opponent from switching to another Pokemon. There's no such thing as switching yet. I would say yet, because there might be switching, who knows? Eventually in Pokemon Masters, it's probably in full force battles or something. But I've never seen an opponent switch yet. And probably if we're facing against Sygna Suit Serena, probably she will be able to apply a restrain effect on us in co-op, and disallow us from switch. I don't even know if that's even gonna be a thing, but for now, in this game at least, restrain is a multiplier. So apply the restrain opponent or restrain effect to an opponent or to all opponents, and you get to activate her passive skill called Restraining Sync Up 5. Restraining Sync Up 5, basically if the opponent is restrained, you get to deal more damage with your sync move. So 50% more damage with your sync move. And then once she Mega Evolves, Restraining Sync Up 5 actually turns to Power Hold 5, which not only powers up your sync move if the opponent is restrained, but also powers up your normal attacks. That's 1000 Waves as well as Core Enforcer after you have transformed into complete form. That is after you have used your sync move for the very first time using Sygna Suit Serena. So you get to get your multiplier upgrade from just sync moves to also your normal attacks. And then as you might see over here, her passive skills actually change. Before Mega Evolution, or rather not Mega Evolution, but before Core Transformation or something like that, before your sync move, you start off with Strong Start 1 and Head Start 1. Strong Start 1 is a brand new passive skill, which basically applies the physical moves up next effect, as well as the special moves up next effect to Sygna Suit Serena. And what do these do? Every single stack of physical moves up next and special moves up next increases either your physical attack or special attack by 40% damage. So you have two types of attacks. 1000 Waves is physical, Core Enforcer is special. So your first 1000 Waves slash your first Core Enforcer will have 40% increased damage. And you can stack this up to 10 times maximum, but her passive skill only gives her a +1 stack. You can use other sync pairs to increase your stack, but you know, at least your first attack for both 1000 Waves and Core Enforcer will be powered up. And then Head Start 1, at the very start of the battle, you get to reduce your sync move countdown by 1. And then after you Mega Evolve, your Strong Start 1 becomes Piercing Gaze, which means your moves will never miss. Now, that is not to say that, you know, Sygna Suit Serena is like, let's say, Leon. Leon's Inferno is 50% accuracy, if I'm not mistaken. As such, it's easy to miss the opponent. No. Sygna Suit Serena, both 1000 Waves and Core Enforcer are 100% accuracy. So it's not like you'll miss, but then, you know, for troublesome opponents who love to increase their evasiveness stats, this will help because that way you'll never miss an attack if you already have used your sync move for at least once. And then Impervious, meaning stats cannot be lowered. So if the opponent likes to debuff you, don't worry, you will not have any stats lowered. And this is good because her other moves, called Dire Hit Plus, maximizes her critical hit rate once you use this twice. And Feel Your Feelings, which is her trainer move, you need to use 2 move gauge for this. So at the start of the battle, you can probably use this. Consume 2 move gauge, which is not too bad. And you maximize both your attack and special attack stats. You maximize it instantly, as well as give yourself a regen effect. So every single time you attack, if your HP is not full, you get to recover a little bit of HP. Which is a good compromise, the 2 move gauge, because there are other sync pairs who need a bigger move gauge requirement and do not increase your stats that much. So it's a good thing for Sygna Suit Serena. This is a very OP passive skill, or rather a trainer move, because, you know, some of the OP trainer moves like reduces, or rather increases your attack to +6, lowers your defense stat and special defense minus something. Let's talk about Alder for a moment. Alder's Unparalleled Power, is that Unparalleled Power? I forgot. Raises your special attack +6, raises your special defense +3, and reduces your defense stat -3. So, you know, most of the OP passive skills have this negative side effect. And this one only requires you to use 2 move gauges and no negative side effect at all. And then the best thing is probably also that you get to recover, because not a lot of trainer moves give you a gradual healing effect. And for a master passive or rather for a master sync pair to have a regen effect when you are going to use her mostly for doing the attacking, that's actually a very good thing. And so, yeah, that's basically that. And if you use her sync move, basically you get to transform into complete form. No multipliers here, and that's that, guys. So we're done talking about her moves and passive skills. Now let's move on to the sync grid over here, which at 1 out of 5 you can have Sand Shelter, which protects you from damage from a sandstorm. What does Sandstorm even do anyway to Sygna Serena? Well, there are no Sandstorm multipliers, but if you have a Sandstorm ongoing, probably you pair her up with Acerola, Ingo, or probably Anniversary Raihan or something, you have Sands of Time, which basically charges your move gauge quicker when there's a Sandstorm. I think that's the only Sandstorm benefit for Sygna Serena, so I guess you can probably choose another sync pair to pair her up with, or Sands of Time is not exactly that helpful, in my opinion, unless you have Serena or Sygna Serena 2 out of 5. Probably you can do that. And then 2 out of 5, you also get Dire Hit Plus MP Refresh 3, which you technically do not need because you can maximize your critical hit rate already. Feel Our Feelings MP Refresh 3, you also do not need this because you get to maximize your attack and special attack +6 already. But you might want to get this to give you another regen effect. So if your regen effect goes away, probably you want to use Feel Our Feelings. It will again consume 2 move gauges to give you a regen effect. So, you know, it might save you at a critical battle or something like that. Who knows? And then Hold Hostage 1. If the opponent is restrained, you get to deal more damage. Around 10%, 20% more damage. And how do you restrain the opponent? Again, by using, what's that move called? By using 1,000 Waves. And then, Sands of Time, I just discussed about that. At 3 out of 5, you get a new, I think this is a new multiplier called Brain Power. Basically, the higher your special attack is, the stronger your sync move is. Now, I said this before, there is an alternate kind of route for Brain Power, which is called Brain Sync. Brain Sync, it's either Brain Sync 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. The normal Brain Sync I see is Brain Sync 5. So Brain Sync only requires you to raise your special attack stat +1, if I'm not mistaken. And then just any upgrade of any increase of your special attack, the multiplier is fixed. Brain Power, the higher your special attack is, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. Now, these types of multipliers are good. They are at the same level of Inertia, of Haymaker. Those are the good passive skills. Those are the good multipliers. I'm not exactly too sure of the numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. My fellow peeps compute the numbers for me. But, you know, the good thing about her is, again, she has Impervious. So the opponents cannot lower her stats. At the same time, if you use her trainer move, Feel Our Feelings, your attack and special attack is raised to max. So basically, you get max multiplier immediately with brain power. So who cares about +1, +2, +3 when your special attack stat will be +6 immediately? So that's that. Feel our feelings, buy one, get one 9. If you guys don't know what BOGO means, that's basically it. Buy one, get one 9. If you use Feel Our Feelings, your next move is gonna be free. So you do not need a move gauge to use her attacks. Soften Up 1 basically assures you that your sync move will be a critical hit as long as you raise your critical hit rate. Because as you might know, if you have maximum critical hit rate +3 and you use a sync move, you only have an 80% chance of landing a critical hit on the opponent. So if you have Soften Up 1, technically every single sync move will be a critical hit, which is a good thing. Status immunity, you will never be poisoned, burned, frozen, or paralyzed, which is also good. Super duper effective too, if the opponent is weak to ground type attacks or dragon type attacks, your 1000 waves will hit harder, or your Core Enforcer will hit harder. And then Sync Damage Guard gives you a Damage Guard next effect after you use your sync move for the first time. Now, what is this Damage Guard effect? Basically, if you have this effect, if the opponent attacks you with a normal attack, you receive 0 damage. If the opponent hits you with a sync move, you receive half the damage. So it might also save you from important battles. Now, every single one of her kit is pretty much good. However, you cannot get everything, especially if you have her at a higher move level. So what can we get for Sygna with Serena? Well, this is not yet available in my normal SyncGrid Helper tool. So I have the help of the Poma tools over here by STDK12. So thank you for this. So at 1 out of 5, you can actually get everything. No need to worry. 1 out of 5, you can get everything in her SyncGrid. At 2 out of 5, things get interesting. Personally, I have 2 options for this one. First is to go for 1000 waves. 1000 waves, you power up your 1000 waves, 1000 waves, 1000 waves, or rather, 1000 waves, 1000 waves, 1000 waves, 1000 waves. And I got that Move Gauge Refresh 2, as well as a Move Gauge Refresh 4, which gives me an 80% chance, 80% chance, guys, of restoring my 1000 waves, restoring my Move Gauge. In fact, you can actually recover 2 Move Gauge instead of 1 if these 2 trigger separately. This can trigger separately. And then I got Trainer Move MP Refresh 3. You can actually swap this with Sands of Time. Can we swap this with Sands of Time? Yes, we can. Or you can go for the Trainer Move just in case, you know, you want an extra regen. And I got the Multiplier Hold Hostage 1 here, so that your attacks will be stronger when the opponent is restrained. And again, 1000 waves makes the opponent restrained, so your attacks will have a multiplier. And then we have an extra few tiles over here. I just gave special defense +5, but you can actually get some other things. The second option is to go for the Core Enforcer build. So Core Enforcer, Dragon type this time. I got Core Enforcer, Core Enforcer, Core Enforcer, Core Enforcer over here. We got the Move Gauge Refresh 4 as well as the Move Gauge Refresh 2. Again, an 80% chance of bringing back a Core Enforcer, or rather your Move Gauge. I also got Hold Hostage 1 because it's always good to get the multiplier. However, to get this multiplier, you would have to use 1000 waves first, because 1000 waves is actually the attack that will set the restrain effect. And I forgot to mention this, but restrain is not a permanent status condition. So make sure you check on the opponent. Restrain can actually fade away after some time, after a couple of moves by the opponent. So make sure you restrain the opponent from time to time. use your 1,000 waves from time to time. Just make sure the opponent is restrained before at least you use a sync move, because that's where the multiplier is. And then also I got special attack plus 10 because Core Enforcer is a special attack. And we also got move gauge, or rather MP refresh 3 for Feel Our Feelings, because again, you might want that regen effect. But again, all sync grids are situational. You can just swap grids from time to time, as you know, depending on what you need at that moment. Now that's 2 out of 5, and at 3 out of 5, I'm glad to say that we can get almost all multipliers. We got super duper effective 2 at the bottom, which if the opponent is weak to ground type attacks, 1,000 waves will be stronger. If the opponent is weak to dragon type attacks, Core Enforcer will be stronger. We got 2 sync nuke tiles over here at the tops and bottom center. And then we have Brain Power. The higher our special attack is, the stronger our sync move is gonna be. Hold Hostage 1, same as earlier. You have to use 1,000 waves first before you can get this. And again, you also have Power Hold 5, which, if the opponent is restrained, you get to power up both your sync move and attack moves as well. And then we also get, what else? No, we do not get anything else, and you have a choice here. We still have a couple of energy left. You can go for 1,000 waves move gauge refresh or Core Enforcer move gauge refresh, depending on what you need at that moment. You cannot get both, sadly. So go for either 1,000 waves move gauge refresh or Core Enforcer move gauge refresh, or go for Rejuvenate 6. Rejuvenate 6, after you use your sync move, your move gauge fills up completely. So I think I still want the move gauge refresh 4 though. So depending on the situation, either get this or get this, and I think that's the best grid for her, at least. I don't think you have a lot of choices here. I'm glad that it's very straightforward and everything. Or, you know, you can just remove the sync move power plus 25 and 25 and go for Rejuvenate 6 or something else. Soften Up 1 is also a very good thing, but unfortunately you have to sacrifice a couple of things to get Soften Up 1. Probably you have to sacrifice Super Duper Effective 2, probably go for this and that, or something like that. So yeah, those are some sync grid options for Sygna with Serena and Zygarde. Unlike, you know, I think it was Anniversary May, I think, that you have to pick choices for the multipliers. This one you don't exactly have to pick choices. I dislike Super Syncer because it only applies the very first time you use a sync move, so I did not choose this one. And you know, Move Gauge Refresh 4 is a very, very high move gauge refresh. So you'll be able to recover your move gauge and attack quickly if this triggers. So 50% chance of triggering. Now that's that, guys. Let's go back to this slide and let us now compare her with the other anniversary units that are coming on these days once again. So, by the way, March 17, if you didn't hear me say that earlier, so March 17, you have around a week, 4, 7, more than almost 2 weeks to somehow get more gems or anniversary, or rather for Sygna with Serena. And by the way, we got 3,000 gems earlier from Pokemon Day. I'm expecting another 3,000 gems tomorrow. Do not disappoint me, DNA. And yeah, let's check the 4 out on their stats. So these stats, as you might see over here, Sygna with Serena has a very, very high attack and special attack stat. And these are 5-star stats, by the way. So if you make her 6-star EX, her stats will not just raise to 548, it will actually raise higher, because Mega Evolution, I'm still not sure how it actually works, but you actually increase more than 40 for Mega, or rather for for the core transformation things. So I'm expecting her attack and special attack to be above 550. Actually, all her stats. Her defense stat, I'm not sure if you make her 6-star EX will reach 200 or not. I'm hoping it does reach 200. But if not, her defense stat will still be quite high at 186. Above 190, definitely. After you 6-star EX her. By the way, this is a 100% or complete form of Zygarde Stats. And she has the highest speed stat, which is very good because she is a 4-move gauge attacker. And if you 6-star EX her, her speed stat will go above 450! That's good! Above 450 speed. Nice! And her HP will go to 726. Yes. Yes, if you guys, if I'm not making myself very clear, she is worthy to be 6-star EX, especially with her multiplier. You know, her attacks are all AoE attacks. If you use 1000 waves, everyone gets restrained. Then if you use her sync move, she is a striker. That means if you 6-star EX her, she will get to hit every single opponent. And then, you know, the multiplier will apply for all the opponents. And so, yeah, it's pretty good to make her 6-star EX. But, let's skip the stats. Let's talk about the multipliers, which I have honestly discussed everything here. I will ignore the multiplier. I will just ignore those. I will just give you an idea what each does. Anniversary May. Every single time you attack the opponent, you get to lower their special attack stat. The lower the opponent's special attack stat is, the stronger your attacks are, which is Miss Ball, and the stronger your sync move is gonna be. Her multipliers involve a lot of debuffing, especially with special attack, plus special defense, which she could not do. So it's either you give her a lucky skill to lower the opponent's special defense, or rely on other sync pairs to lower the opponent's special defense in order to apply the special defense multipliers for Anniversary May. Anniversary Skyla and Anniversary Raihan both deal with a lot of interferences on the enemy. They like to flinch the opponent. You have an Air Cutter Flincher on Anniversary Skyla and a Twister Flincher on Anniversary Raihan. Anniversary Skyla can also confuse the opponent, while Anniversary Raihan can trap the opponent. And Anniversary Raihan has this thing for weather. Meanwhile, Anniversary Skyla is a zone setter, and Anniversary May is a terrain setter. So actually, if you don't know, you can actually stack all three. You can stack terrain plus zone plus weather. So I would be interested in seeing that in action. Terrain plus zone plus weather. But you cannot stack 2 terrains or 2 zones or 2 weather conditions at once. Anniversary Raihan can also set up sun plus sandstorm, so make sure you properly set that up. Again, I would do my analysis, or rather scout or skip videos for Anniversary Skyla and Anniversary Raihan in the next few days, so stay tuned for that one. And Skyla, Anniversary Skyla has things to do with increasing her speed stat as well as flinching the opponent for her multipliers. No attack move multipliers there. Anniversary Raihan can give everyone a super effective up next if there's a weather condition and he uses his trainer move. And each time he uses Sandstorm, he gives everyone a physical moves up next and a special moves up next, which is a good combination, I guess, for Sygna Suit Serena. As you might know, Sygna Suit Serena has Sand Shelter, which prevents damage from a Sandstorm. So if Raihan uses Sandstorm, he will give Sygna Suit Serena both physical moves up next and special moves up next. And then Sygna Suit Serena will be protected from damage because of Sand Shelter if you get it on her grid. And then Multipliers also flinching, Confused Trap, Weather Conditions, that's that. Now, Sygna Suit Serena over here has multipliers to do with trapping, or rather, restraining the opponent. So Hold Hostage 1 is a restraining multiplier. Power Hold 5 and Restraining Sync Up 5 is a restraining multiplier. The other multipliers are very easy to get. I'm gonna ignore Super Effective up next because you can only trigger it once using Super Sinker. But Brain Power, you get it immediately as soon as you use your trainer move. And then, you know, Callous Flag Bearer is her master passive, which gets to power up all Sync Pairs attacks and increases every single Sync Pair's defensive stats against the opponent's normal attacks. So, very easy to set up Sygna Suit Serena over here. How do these convert to numbers, to damage output? So, again, this was done by Jack. And thank you as well, Bernard, as well as STDK12. If you want to know how these is computed, I actually tried the tools earlier. It involves getting all the tiles of their sync grid, which is not exactly possible, but still, just imagine it's possible. So these are the multipliers, or rather, this is the damage that you can get. Now, Anniversary May, Anniversary Skyline, Anniversary Raihan are all tech sync pairs. So naturally, tech sync pairs deal more sync nuke damage against strikers. But then, it's not a bad number, 12,997,341. You have Anniversary, or rather Sygna Suit Serena dealing the most damage with 6,381,763 for the Dragon type Core Enforcer, as well as 3,690,570 with 1,000 waves. If you're wondering why the damage is so far, this is involving Dragon Zone. So if there's a Dragon Zone, your attacks get more powerful. I don't think she has any multipliers to do with sand or ground type moves. So unless or until Ground Zone or something like that is implemented, the damage will be low, but it's still very high. Because in fact, she's now the queen of Dragon and ground type DPS. DPS, she's now the queen of both Dragon type and ground type DPS. Now this time, I want to do this a little bit differently with you guys. Normally, I discuss the multipliers first before the damage output. This time, I want to discuss the damage first, and then let us discuss how quickly it is to get the maximum damage. That means how easy it is to trigger the multiplier. So let's begin by looking at the Dragon types. So again, her stats are very, very high. Her attack stat, special attack stat, 508. That puts her stats above the, I think, the highest stat Lance. So this is the only stats that I want to discuss, because normally I discuss the stats of everyone, compare the stats. This time I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna focus on her. So as you might see, very high attack stats, special attack stats. Now let's move on to the comparison. Here we go. Okay, this is Dragon DPS, guys. And as you might see over here, Sygna Suit Serena tops everyone. And I asked Jack, who did this numbers, I asked because, you know, Sygna Suit Serena can actually give herself a physical moves up next and a special moves up next effect. I was wondering if, how many stacks is this? Is this plus 10, plus 1, plus 5? He said it's 0 stack. So that's actually a good thing, because if you have your physical moves up next effect or special moves up next effect, the damage will even be higher. So this is a 0 stack physical moves up next or special moves up next. Let's talk, it's special moves up next because it's the Dragon type attack. So 6,381,763, followed by Champion Iris with 4,441,651, followed by Lance with 4,127,087, followed by Claire 3,996,633, followed by Anniversary Stevens Draco Meteor with 3,937,183. Now the sync note, we will discuss that later, but how easy it is to get these numbers? Well, here are the multipliers. So Sygna with Serena, what you have to do is basically use 1,000 waves first. Once you use 1,000 waves, all the opponents will be trapped. And if the opponent is weak to, dragon type moves, you'll get those multipliers already. You will get Hold Hostage 1, Callous Flag Bearer. I'm not sure why I did not set that into blue, but ignore that. We are ignoring physical moves up next and special moves up next. Those are not counted in the damage computation. We're also getting super duper effective too. And then, yes, we are considering a super effective up next here, but that's the only thing you need to do in order to get maximum multipliers. So you only need to restrain the opponent by using 1,000 waves. How about Champion Iris? Breaking Swipe, Critical Strike 1, as well as Power Loving. Breaking Swipe, as you might know, Champion Iris can only raise her critical hit rate depending on how many times her trainer move triggers. Because her trainer move allows her to raise her critical hit rate +1 as well as attack stat +1. So to get maximum damage from Champion Iris, you'd have to use another sync pair to raise her attack stat to maximum. And I think we're talking about Dragon Rush for her damage computation here, the strongest damaging dragon type attack. So you would have someone to raise your critical hit rate to maximum as well as attack stat to maximum before getting the maximum amount of damage. Power Loving involves debuffs. The more the opponent's stats are lowered, the stronger the damage. Now, it's easy to debuff the opponent using Champion Iris. You use Snarl, you use Breaking Swipe, it will reduce all opponents' attack stat -2 each time you use Breaking Swipe, special attack stat -2 each time you use Snarl. But then you would have to, it takes some setup. And again, you need a support sync pair to raise her stats. So a little bit harder than Sygna with Serena, who can instantly maximize her physical and special attack stat. Meanwhile, we have Lance. Now, Lance is in this list because Hyper Beam is a very strong attack, and also because his stats are high. In fact, he's just a little bit lower than Sygna with Serena in terms of attack and special attack stats. But he has no multipliers whatsoever, but then also, his trainer move is worthless. You just recover your move gauge. It's like Rejuvenate 6. He cannot raise his own stats. You need another sync pair in order to do this. And you need to, raise your critical hit rate, raise your attack stat, or rather raise your special attack stat in order to maximize your Hyper Beam. So it takes some setup with Lance. You need another sync pair to maximize your stats. Claire, on the other hand, also the same. I did not exactly check what Claire's trainer moves are, but let me just check what Claire does, okay? Claire has X special attack, so you need to use this twice first, and it will raise your special attack +2. Victory is Mine raises your critical hit rate +1, as well as recovers your lowered stats. So you will get a +2 critical hit rate, as well as a +4 special attack. It's not yet maximum. These damages are computed with maximum stats. So you would have to have another sync pair in order to do that. And the multipliers, Draco Meteor, Paralysis, Synergy 5. So you need to paralyze the opponent using Dragon Breath first. Which Dragon Breath, 30% base chance of making the opponent paralyzed. And you rely on Rain, which it has to be raining in order to get Raging Rain 5, which powers up your Draco Meteor by 50% damage. So a little bit harder because you need to inflict a status condition. Not just that, but you also need to raise your stats. Also, you need Rain. And Anniversary Steven over here. You got Critical Strike 2 for Draco Meteor. Good form. The higher your stats are, the stronger the damage. And how Anniversary Steven works is that you use his attacks, Dragon Ascent as well as Draco Meteor, to lower your stats, but his downside up passive skill changes those lowered stats to increase stats instead. So you have to set up, increase your stats more and more in order to get the good form multiplier to work better and better. His trainer move gives him a super effective up next, as well as I think stat increases. Hoenn Flagbearer is a master passive skill, which powers up his moves and defenses, and then clear power up 1 if there's no weather condition, stronger damage. So again, good form takes some setup to do. Super effective up next takes another trainer move to do so. And clear power up 1 requires no weather effects, which I guess is clear power up 1 is okay, but good form takes some time unless you have a support sync pair to help you out. So in terms of speed of giving yourself those multipliers, Sygna Suit Serena is you can trigger them in almost an instant. Meanwhile, all the other sync pairs requires quite some work in order to do that. So that is what makes Sygna Suit Serena better in terms of DPS. And for the sync move this time, as you can see over here, Champion Iris this time is the highest one, tech sync pair, followed by Anniversary Raihan. Amazing. Followed by Lucas, followed by Sygna Suit Serena, followed by Lycia. Lycia benefits from no terrain, no field effects, no nothing, no zones. I'm not even sure if that damage is computed correctly. Jack, let me know how that damage is computed. But how difficult is this to trigger? Devastation and Pecking Order maximum damage if the opponent stats, special attack and attack stats are -6. So you need to use at least 3 Breaking Swipes as well as 3 Snarls in order to do this. And then the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger the damage. Champion Iris, very strong sync nuker, but then you have to debuff the opponent and then the damage will be good, I guess. Okay, Anniversary Raihan relies on weather conditions and interferences. So if there's a weather condition, any weather condition, you will be able to trigger 2 multipliers, which is Weather Sync Up 5 as well as the built-in multiplier. And then Interference Sync 5, you have to either trap the opponent or make the opponent flinch or confuse the opponent. Confusion and trap, I guess, is the stable interferences, because flinching, if you're facing Champion Stadium, the center opponent often recovers almost instantly from flinching. So flinching is a tough status condition to work with in terms of sync move multipliers. But, Raihan can also use Fire Spin to make the opponent trap. So I guess that's a good thing as well. So Raihan, you only need to trap the opponent and set up weather. It takes slight bit of work. Super effective up next is locked to his trainer move. But I'm guessing that you will not mostly be able to use a super effective up next on the opponent when you use your sync move or something like that. Lucas, you have to use Dragon Zone. It's a multiplier. And by the way, these damage outputs are computed with Dragon Zone active. So I'm expecting you to use Lucas together with Sygna Suit Serena or some other sync pairs. Inertia, increases your speed stat, or the higher your speed stat is, the stronger the damage. And I think he has X speed plus, so you need to use at least 2x speed plus. You need to use Dragon Zone, and the moment you are able to use X speed plus twice as well as Dragon Zone, you'll be able to trigger the multipliers. Super effective up next. I think that's Super Sinker as well, or some other thing. Wait. Super Command 4 rather. Has a 50% chance of giving yourself a super effective up next when you use a trainer move. So it's not that hard, except that it requires 2x speed plus as well as the Dragon Wish in order to maximize the multipliers for Lucas. Against Sygna with Serena, you just need to trap the opponent or restrain the opponent, as well as use your trainer move once. And then Lycia over here cannot have any field effects for the built-in multiplier. Double down 2 if the opponent is weak to dragon type attacks. Stronger sync move damage. So not really much setup needed for Lycia, but then you cannot set up Dragon Zone if you want the built-in multiplier. Now I'm not sure if that multiplier is better than the Dragon Zone bonus damage or not. If you know, do let me know, guys. But you know, those are the dragon type multipliers. Those are the dragon type DPS and sync nuke damage. Now, as you know, what makes her good is that she can also attack with ground type attacks. Sadly, you know, it would be better if probably she was a ground type sync pair instead of a dragon type sync pair, because of the sheer amount of dragon types we have. By the way, if you're wondering why Cyrus is not here as well as the other dragon types, that means they do not belong to the top 5 DPS or sync nukers. So we are just talking about the top 5 here. So I'm pretty surprised that Cyrus is not in this list, because Cyrus just got a power up. So this is the ground type DPS, and we're talking about DPS only because she cannot exactly hit the opponent using ground type sync move. So she actually does better than Maxi with 3,695,700 versus Maxi's 3,672,702. Cynthia's Earthquake with 2,525,666. May's Earth Power with 2,327,551. And Leon's Earthquake with 1,875,546. Now again, how do you obtain this damage? Moving on, Hold Hostage 1. Again, very easy with Sygna with Serena. Maximize her stats using her trainer move. Trap the opponent, or rather restrain the opponent. The good thing here is that the move 1000 Waves is the ground type move, is the restraining move. So you'll be able to use the multiplier even faster and more often. Because if the opponent has lost its restrain, you know, 1000 Waves is your move of choice. You'll get to bring the restrain back very quickly. And again, if you have her at least 2 out of 5, you get a very high move gauge refresh for both her attack moves. Maxi, on the other hand, relies on Sun. Solar Surge 3 powers up his, Precipice Blades. If it's sunny, the moment sun goes down, he becomes a lot weaker. So make sure the sun is up, and you know he can raise his stats, but not as quickly as Sygna with Serena. That's that. Cynthia can also raise her stats and everything like that, and relies on Sand this time. So she got Surging Sand 5, which it's Sandstorming 50% stronger. You got Surging Sand 3 at 3 out of 5. You got Ramming Speed. The higher her speed stat is, the stronger attack is, and she can raise her speed, I think, by using her trainer move. Slash Critical Strike 3. She can raise her critical hit rate, and if it's a critical hit, Slash will deal more damage, but then Earthquake deals more damage than Slash. So Earthquake ramming speed hits everyone, but then you would have to raise your speed stat as well as set up Sandstorm in order to maximize Cynthia. Also, you would have to raise her attack stat, which I think she has X attack. Let me just check. She has X attack, which you have to use first, twice or thrice MP refresh or some other sync pair to help you with that in order to, you know, do that. Meanwhile, Sygna suits Serena. Okay, I forgot to say that you have to use 2 Dire Hit Plus in order to get the critical hit rate, I guess. So, a little bit of setup, but less setup than the others. Mei, on the other hand, Earth Power Surging Sand 5. So, you cannot, and you know, she also has Raging Rain 3 and 5 as her passives. So, you cannot get Raging Rain 3 and 5 together with Sandstorm. It's either you choose Sandstorm or Raging Rain. So, if you're getting Earth Power Surging Sand, make sure it's Sandstorming to power up. I think they're gonna be equal damage. Surging Sand 5 as well as Raging Rain 5. Dizzying Power relies on the enemy's accuracy debuffs. So use Muddy Water to lower the opponent's accuracy stat, and it doesn't lower all the time. You got that on a roll 1, I think, but it doesn't lower all the time. So it takes up quite some setup. Power Reserves 4 relies on your HP becoming very low. Mei, a little bit hard to set up. Meanwhile, Leon got Galar Flag Bearer Master passive. Randomly, you get a super effective up next because of super preparation when you use any move. And then Burn Synergy 3, you'd have to use Inferno first on the opponent before, you know, you can take advantage of the Burn Synergy multiplier. Now, Leon, I think if you use his trainer move, gets to raise his attack and special attack +2. Now, Strike a Pose is his trainer move, and it only has 1 MP. And it relies on RNG to bring back that MP of Strike a Pose. He has MP Rekindle, 30% chance of bringing back his trainer move. And his trainer move is the one that increases his attack, special attack, and critical hit rate. So it relies on RNG plus you need to burn the opponent before you will get that multiplier of Burn Synergy 3. But super effective up next is very easy to set up, just RNG related. And so I guess that makes Sygna suits Serena the fastest sync pair out of the bunch to maximize her multipliers. Because the way to do this is, again, use her trainer move, use your 2-move gauge when you do that, raises your attack and raises your attack and special attack +6. Gives you a regen effect. Use 2 Dire Hit Plus, maximize your critical hit rate. And then you use 1000 Waves. Restrain every single opponent. That's the only setup you need. Then every single next move you have will have those multipliers. Again, Restrain is not a permanent effect, so make sure to check on the opponent from time to time, especially if you're using her as the Dragon type striker, because you know, you have to use the ground type 1000 Waves in order to get the Restrain effect. So make sure you check from time to time. And then, yeah, that's that. And then I forgot to include Power Hold in the attack move multipliers, guys. So, Power Hold is also an attack move multiplier. Did I forget to put that everywhere? Yes, I did! So, Power Hold also powers up your moves and attacks after you use a sync move on the opponent and transform into complete form. So that's another multiplier. Again, you would have to just restrain the opponent using 1000 Waves. And that's that. That is why I guess you want to scout for Sygna with Serena, because very easy to set up the multipliers and very easy to maximize your stats. And, you know, Master Passive, Master Sync Pair, the first 5 multipools, you get to have free gifts and stuff like that. And so, I guess that makes me want to tell you to probably scout for her because she's pretty good. But then, I would like to say that as usual, this, choose your faves and not the meta. But probably in this scenario, guys, in this scenario, I would say that you're probably losing a lot if you do not scout her. We only have this few ground type attackers. In fact, every single good ground type attacker is limited. You got Cynthia who's limited, you got Leon who's limited, you got Maxi who's limited. Yes, you got May, can attack 1. Yes, you got Clay with no sync grid yet. Who else? You got Hapu with... I don't even know. But yeah, the ground type sync pairs we have are very limited. Yes, I'm promoting her as a ground type attacker here. So you're probably losing a lot if you do not scout her. And at the same time, no Master Fair has rerun yet. So Leon has not rerun at all. In fact, I don't even... A lot of people are asking, when will Maxi, when will Archie rerun, when will Leon rerun? I do not know. Will they even rerun? So, probably keep that in mind as well until we see a rerun of a Master Fair. Probably think of it as Master Fairs will never rerun. Probably. They will rerun eventually, but take it as Master Fairs will rerun once every 2 years or something like that. So if you're willing to wait and not scout, it's your choice. I'm just here to give you the info. And yeah, that's that. And again, she's coming out on May 7 or March 17. You have several weeks to save your gems. And again, if you do not know, we are getting more than enough to scout for one sync pair of your choice, either here or on another banner. Next month, we will have an Ingo plus Red plus I forgot the other one rerun. And then April, we have the Spring Sync pairs, which Poltergeist is rumored and rather is promoted as one of the featured, you know, its banner image and stuff. And Springberg is very, very good. So think about it very carefully. But as a ground type striker, you cannot go wrong with her. She does not need the Sun multipliers of Maxi. She's faster than Maxi, very high move gauge refresh, and requires almost no setup at all to attack. So that's the too long don't watch analysis of Sygna with Serena. I tried my best to upload this before I get to sleep, before the first anniversary unit came out. And I hope you guys appreciate the effort for this one, because it's 6. It's 7? It's 7:30, guys. Oh my goodness. I haven't done a lot of things yet. Oh well, I hope you guys appreciate the effort that came into this. I probably will sleep by 9 and wake up by 1:30. Oof. So, I'm gonna end here. That's my Scout or Skip video for Sygna with Serena and Zygarde. Again, give this a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section whether you are gonna scout why you are gonna scout her. Is it for the outfit? Is it for the attack? Is it for the waifu material? Is it for the collection purposes? Or whatsoever? And what move level you want to get her at? Is it just one copy? You know, you can always just get one copy and use candies on her. Or are you gonna whale your gems? Oh, get to scout points and see how many copies you get, because we have enough to get to scout points. And with that said, I would like to give a huge shout out to all my members. Thank you for all your support. Thank you, Shadowphil. Thank you, Marcella. Thank you, Aryan Singh. Thank you, Blaze. Thank you, Alcin Arsen. Thank you, John9019. Thank you, Cindy, the Cinderace Gamer. Thank you, Roy Mustango Sus. Thank you, Luca Midi. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Sasri Ambrion. Thank you, Blue Rose. Thank you, Ewiz. Thank you, Lance Nice. And thank you, Agent 10 Splatoon, for all your support and for your generosity. If you guys want to support me, help out the channel, you can click on the join button down below. Or, you know, just share this channel with your friends. And the thumbs ups and the comments help a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Tell your friends to subscribe, because we're trying to get to 10K. With that said, I'm done. You probably don't want to see Otamasas again, but I'm gonna show you this one. Subscribe or subscribe to this guy. Link also in the description. But that's it. This is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. Your hardest team's called Grunt. I will see you in the next video. Rawr.